Okay, hi friends, welcome to Codingmissions. Today we're gonna know about how to create a basic web page using HTML CSS, right? So using HTML CSS, we can create some web pages, and those web pages are this type. Okay, so this is a sign-in web page, right? And you can have the sign up web page, which is nothing but a login and register web pages. Okay, today we're gonna know how to create this user interface using HTML and CSS. And let's know about the HTML CSS first. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language, and CSS stands for cascading style sheets. Okay, so HTML CSS, these are the present trending technologies for web development. And when you move forward in HTML, we use tags, and CSS, we have CSS properties. So each property will be used to give the style. Okay, so for each tag there are properties which has to be given, and for the properties there will be values. By assigning the current values, you can have a beautiful and effective user interface, that means a web page. Okay, so first of all, let's create you have to create a folder, right? So I have created a web page folder, and BG is the image which I have taken. Okay, you can take it from the internet also. Okay, you can take your own, your own image from the internet and save that in the folder. Okay, now what we have to next is we have to take a text document. Okay, you can also do this same work by opening the VS Code, opening the VS Code, and opening the folder, right? So you can open the folder, web page folder, and select folder, and your folder is opened, right? Now image is already in there. Now you have to create a separate file, that is index.html. Okay, so the less than and greater than are symbols will be shown if that is a HTML file. So HTML file is ready, right? Now why index.html? Basically, when your website is online, that means you have deployed it in a server, the index named web HTML page will be considered as the first page. So the server thinks that the index named page is the first page that I have to display. In that way, the server thinks generally. Every server, world, all the servers in the world thinks that like. Okay. Okay, I am deleting this index which I have created through VS Code. Why? Because we are not, you can go through VS Code, but there are some people who don't know how to use VS Code, and they might have not installed the VS Code in their laptops, but they are too interested, very much interested for web development. Then the option is the basic option. No need to install any other softwares. The option we have left is using the text document, right? So give the text document as index.html. Now what we have to do is we have to resave this. Okay, you have to resave this as all files, not index, not text document. You have to go to save as and resave it as, or select all files and press on save. So you will replace with the text. Sorry. Okay, all files, save. Yes, right. index.html, right? So all files save. See, a index.file is created. Now delete this text document file. Okay, so index file created, it will be with an icon of your browser. It can be your Chrome browser or the different browsers you use generally. So in my laptop, the Microsoft Edge is the default browser for HTML documents. So icon for the index.html is shown like that. Now we will just open with the notepad. All right, so the file is open here. Now what we have to do, as I spoken earlier, HTML is a language in which tags are being used, right? So what are tags? Tags are nothing but uh, tags has a syntax that less than tag name, and it will be closed with a greater than. Okay, so this is the tag starting tag, and if the tag has to be closed, let me create a tag here. Basically, every HTML file should have a tag, that is HTML tag. Without the HTML tag, your file will not be considered as an HTML file. Okay, so this is an HTML tag. Okay, how to close the tag? Basically, you have to remember that for opening of every tag, you have to close that tag. How to close that? So you have to close that by same syntax, but backslash should be there. So backslash represent that you are closing that respective tag. Okay. Okay. So this is the tag which we have created, HTML tag. Now our HTML file is good to go, right? Since we have created the HTML tag. Now, what are the different type of tags that we required for this web pages, login and sign in web pages, sign in and sign up web pages, right? So first, in every website, in every web page, you have to do head tag. I mean, you have to go with starting with HTML tag. Then you have to move with head tag and close the head tag, right? Then the require under this body tag, right? See, so HTML tag is started here and it's been closed here. Okay, so this is the initialization and this is the ending of that respective tag. The remaining tags should be inside the HTML tags. Okay, so and then head tag is initialized here and head tag is closed here, right? Next, the body tag is initialized and closed here. Now, what are the contents that are should be written in head tag and what are the contents that are should be written in the body tag? So as we know earlier, the HTML is everything all about tags only. So specific tags which are written inside some other tags will offer you a specific functionality. Okay, so if I write the head tag inside a head tag, what we write is we will basically write a title tag. So title tag, okay. So how the title tag is written here? Title tag and right. So title tag is written like this. Now the let me write something here. Login page. Remember this. Remember what I have written here. Okay, just remember for seconds, for a couple of seconds, and I will show what this tag will do. I will show you. Okay, so yeah, this is the title tag which we have written. Now we will just run this. How we will run the HTML file? In VS Code, you have a run. In when you press run, you will prompted with a drop down, that is start debugging, start without debugging. So you can go with start debugging and you have to choose a browser next. it will show you the browsers which are available in your laptops. If you select one of the browser, it will start the showing the output in the browser. But in this type, I mean in writing this notepad and saving it as HTML file, so while doing this kind of, we have to just double click the file. See, the file has been opened. Okay, this is a web page which has been opened, and which is, see here, our drive is shown here, right? Since we are opening this in a local mode. Okay, we are opening this through our laptop, right? So index.html is a web page, and we have created this in a folder, web page folder, and p drive we have using we are using this in p drive, right? See, what I want to show you is this one, login page. Okay, this is the title which we have written in the head tag, right, in our code. Okay, leave this in background. Okay, leave this in background and come to this notepad. Since if we done any changes, then we have to immediately go to that file, and um, we will just refresh that web page, and the changes will be appeared in the web page. Okay, okay. Now this is a title tag which has should be written in the head tag. Okay, now what about the body tag? In body tag, what we have to write is, we have to write some tags such as div tag. Okay, and obviously when we write a tag, we have to, next thing we immediately we have to do is, we have to close the tag, right? So we have closing the tag, right? Now we have written a div tag, and in the div tag, what we have to do is, we have to write another tag named as h tag. So in h tag there are different types of values from h1 to h6. Okay, so let me show you. h1, hi, slash h1. Okay, so these are from h1 to h6, right, as I said earlier. But how they differ, how the h1 to h6 will differ, we will understanding by seeing the output. Okay, this will be h2, h2, h3, h3, h4, h4, h5, h5, h6, and here goes the h6, right? So let's rewrite the code here, right? See, the difference will be shown to you only. Here the differences can be visible, right? The h1 tag, h2 tag, h3, h4, h5, and here comes the h6. So you may now understand the how these 6 tags are differ. They are nothing but they are different sizes only. Okay, so what we use is, we use h2 tag for us. Remaining tags we will just delete them. Okay, so I have deleted these tags, and in h2 tag what I will write is, I will write sign in, right? So sign in is the h2 tag. Okay, next what I have to write, next I will create a form. Okay, by using a form tag. Form tag is generally used for these kind of forms. Okay, if further you can even submit the form by connecting it to the database, right? If your database connections that all, the best way to use is the form tag. So in form tag, what we have to do, basically when you visualize the output, so let me show you the output first. See, so as you seen here, here is the sign in which I have written in h2 tag, and the username should be there, and for password, a text bar should be there which is used to take my text, and for you uh, for password there should be a text called password here, which is known as label in general, which is in web technology words. In that context we call this as label, and we call this as another label, and we call this as input bar, input box, and this is an input box. Okay, so we will just create them here in form. Okay, so how we create? So we use label tag here, that means label tag to create a label. Okay, so label tag is name is username slash label, right? So username is the label, and after the label what we have seen, we have seen a input bar, text input bar, right? So for that we use input tag, right? Input tag, and type of the input tag, what's the type of the input tag? Our type is input, type of the input tag is text, right? So our type of input tag is text, and we will just close the input tag, right? Next we will create another label. Okay, so the label username, and here it will be the password label. Next, input tag, type, what's the type for password? So type equals to, there is a attribute type, for that we have to pass values. Okay, for the input, for first input username input, we have passed the value as text to the attribute type. For password input we have to pass the attribute value, that is password, as the type. Okay, so we have been going through the uh, input, right? Next, what we have to do? Means we have to create a button here. Okay, so how do we create a button here? We have to create a button by how? But we have button tag. Okay, so button tag, and button, what should it displayed as login slash button. Yeah, button tag is closed. Okay, so let's see what happens in our code. No, this is not our code, this is the code which we are writing here. See, you can able to see the sign in, username, password, and a button login. Okay, so everything is done. The required thing is we have to start the styling for this page. Okay, so styling should be started now. Let's start the styling here. Now let's get in here, and styling, how we generally do the styling means, we generally create a .css file and we link to this file, to HTML file. But if you don't want to do that, there is a other format for styling, that is in file styling, that is using the style tag, but remember that the style tag should be written in head only. Okay, so style tag should be written in head only, and if the any tag, if the style tag is open, it should be closed, right? So and it should be written in inside the head only. Okay, right. So we have taken a style tag here. Now what we have to do now? Okay, so what we have to do now is we will create a background first. Hmm. Okay, I have got one thing here. I have got one thing here. Uh, Before going to the style, let me do one thing. Here, label and input. It is one set. Let's consider this as one set, and here is another set. Label and input. Right. This is one set of label and input. This is another set of label and input. Right. So while we will create the divs. Okay. So we will create divs for each set. See. So for each set, I have created a divs. Next, once every tag is open, you should remember that everything is closed. And for closing, for the closing tag, you should go with the backslash. Okay. Next, we'll start styling. First of all, we will go with the background. We will make background for this. Okay. Hmm. First, you have to know for what the background should be, for what the styling you have to done. See, the background which I want as an image should be there for the whole web page, right? So what I can do is I can go with the body. See, right? So this is the syntax for writing the style for respect to element in the web page. I mean, body is an element, div is another element, this h2 is an element, this form is an element, this div, this label, this input, everything is in HTML elements. For each element, what you want to style, how you want to style, you will decide. Okay. For body, I want to write the style. Okay. For this, you have to follow this syntax: body, flower bracket open, flower bracket close. In between the flower brackets, you have to write the CSS properties. Okay. Uh, what I want to write is, I want to first property, what I want to write is, I want to write the font. The property is font family. Font family. Okay. So font family is the uh, CSS property, right? What will happen if I give that in body? Every letters, every text inside the body. That means everything is inside the body, obviously, right? Every tags, every text, everything is inside the body tag only. So for all the text, this will be applied. What is the font family? Arial is a one type of font family, and sans serif, sans serif is another type of font family. Upon completion of every property, you have to end that with a semicolon. Okay. First, property in CSS, write the property name and give column. Okay. And pass the value to the property and end the property with the semicolon. This is the syntax for writing a CSS property. Okay. Next, what now is the main task. I want to put the image. So background, background image. So what is a background image? What the background should be? I want to have bg.jpg. Please, please recheck the extension of the image file you have taken. Okay, what the extension is, please keep that file in the extension as it is. Okay, then only it will be applied neatly and successfully. Hmm? See, let us save this file. Control S will be used to save, and let's rerun this. How this will be. Okay, see, background is applied. Okay, background is applied, but the how the image is, it is repeated. So we have to stop the repeat, and we have, if the repetition is stopped, what will happen? See, let me show you. What I will do is, background repeat is the property. Background repeat. So no repeat is the value. No repeat is the value. Okay, so no repeat is the value which I have to pass here. Right, next let's save this and see what will happen in our file. We have to refresh this. See, the repetition of the image is stopped. Good, nice, but the image is not centered. That means the four side of the web page should be covered with the image, right? So uh, what we have to do is, background size is a property. Background size is the property, and the value for that is cover. To cover the whole web page, the value we have to pass is cover. We have saved this, and we will see the requirement which we want, that the background should be, the whole page should have the background, that is the image, and we are done with that. Okay, so this is the styling and making the background, making the image to be a background for the whole web page, right? Now what we have to do? Okay, now listen carefully, we are going into some important topic here, right? Here we have tags, we have done with the body. Styling for body is done for now. Okay, we are done. Next we have to go to div. But the problem here is, if you write the div, if you write like div, braces open, braces close, and this, and you write the styling here, something styling, but this will not be working out here. The reason is, there are divs. This is the one div, this is second div, this is the third div. So there are more than one divs. So what we have to do, in these kind of scenarios, what we have to do is, we have to name that tag. How? Nothing but we have to use the class attribute for the tag. So using this attribute, we can give a name to the tag. Okay, so for first div tag, I am naming it as container. So this is the name, this is the class name which I have given to this div tag, first div tag. For h2 tag, I am not giving anything, because there is no h2 tag which I have used. Only one h2 tag is used in the whole web page, right? So there is no need to go with any specific class name for h2 tag. And for form, there is also no need, because we are using only one form here in our whole web page, so there is no need. But for the div, there is the requirement. So what we have to do, is, we have to give the class name. Okay, so what the class name will be? The class name will be form dash group, right? So class name will be form dash group. Next, for these div also, I am giving the class name as form dash group, right? So why I have given this two divs is same name? The reason is let me show you the file output. Okay, here see, the username label and the input box is in one div, and other label, that is password and input box, is in another div. Okay, the styling which I use for this div can be also be the same styling which I can use for this div also, right? Am I right? Right. So by giving the same name to the two divs, if I write the styling for one name, then it will be applied to the two divs, and my problem and my web page will be easily sorted out, and the styling will be done easily. So my advice is, if you are having the same type of styling for more number of tags, then use the same name, so that for that single name, if you write the style, that will be applied to the all the elements which are having that class name. That same class name, if the element different other elements also having, those elements also will get the same style. So our problem will be solved very easily here. And for button, what I will do is, I will create a class for all this also. Class equals to, okay, there is no need of class for the button, right? I think there is no need for class, so we will just leave that. We will use the button only. Now, so we as I said earlier, we cannot use div. So instead of that, what is the next tag we have to do? So we have to go with the container. See, first div we have named the class. I mean, we have named through a class. So the class name which we have given to that is the container. Okay, let's please hear carefully here. Generally, using a normal tag for writing style to a normal tag, you can follow this syntax: tag name, flower bracket open, flower bracket close. In middle of the flower, in center of the flower bracket, after the flower bracket is open, you have to write the CSS properties. But if the tag which you are using is having a class, you have if you think that you want to write the style using the class name, then you should consider this using this syntax. Okay, that is dot class name, that is container. So dot container is the class name which I have given to the div, right? But dot dot is the requirement which should be given, so that the HTML page web browser will understand that this is the styling which is done to the element, HTML element, which is named as a class name, that is container. Okay, I think we have understood, right? Now what we have to do? We have to start writing the container styling. So max width. So max width, how much maximum the width should be for that element? I need 500 pixels. Okay, based on your requirements, you can change that. And margin. So okay, let me save this code, and let us see how the output will be for our web page. Okay, there is no changes. Okay, uh, before mm, Okay. Okay. Before going on, let's move forward. Next, margin top. What the margin top is? The margin top, I will take 120 pixel. What is margin top property in CSS? The margin top is how much margin should it take from the top of the laptop. From your laptop, this is top, this is bottom, this is right, and this is left. Okay, this is top, bottom, left, this side is left, and this side is right. So margin top, I have to take the margin. The margin is nothing but a some space which we want to leave. We will do nothing with that, which you want to just leave. So from at top, how much margin I want, I will be giving that in the form of pixels. So our laptop contains pixels. So the one px represents one pixel space. So 120 pixels from the top, I will leave 120 pixels, and after that the content should be displayed. Okay, so I will save this and I will read on the code here. See, for 120 pixels, this is the gap I am getting here. Okay, and the content is displayed from here. Okay, let's move forward. Let's make this content into center. So how? Let's see. Our content is in leftmost side, right? Our content is in leftmost side. So what we can do? We can use margin. I think you might have guessed it, right? Yes, if you have guessed that as margin left, it is correct. So I am using margin left, and for that I am giving the pixels of 380 pixels, right? So let's read on the code here. See, some amount of changes has been done here, right? Next, I want to give padding. I want to give padding. Padding is an CSS property which is generally used. Uh, let's rerun this. See, using padding, movement has been, distance has been changed. Okay. So what is padding? Generally, padding defines that how much distance should it have with the edges. So every element have some borders. So with respect to borders, how much distance should it have? The container contains all the elements. Basically, the body contains the container. The body contains the div tag, which is named as container. But the container contains every tag which we required. Okay, which we used in this program, which we used in this page. So with the every element, with the edge, with the border, and with the elements, from elements to the border that contains space should be 20 pixel. Okay, so color is, see here, the problem is it is in black color. So that's why the text is not being clear, very much clear here. So what we will do is we will make the color as white. For that color code, we use color codes here. Slash hashtag FFF. This is the color code which we use for the color white. Okay, every text is being changed to white. Next, we will make the background as transparent. So we will make background transparent. Okay, so transparent, background is transparent. And for borders, how much border radius should be there? Okay, before that, let's create a box shadow. That means let's create the border box here. Okay, mm, box shadow, box shadow, and for 0 space 10 pixel, 10 pixel. The next RGBA of 255 comma 255 comma 255 comma 0.927. See, this is the border box. uh, let's see what happens here. Let's see the output once, and I'll just refresh it. See, this is the border box. So the elements are moved 20 pixels from the left side. Okay, left, from the left border, all the elements have been moved to 20 pixels. If I give 100 pixels, see what will happen. Padding, I mean, I am telling about padding. See, the elements from the left side, it has moved to 100 pixels, and from the top and the bottom has the same 100 pixels have been moved. Okay, so this is how the padding works. And how the border box shadow, it will produce a shadow for the border. So this is the line which is the border here. So this is the border here, and for the border, black white color shadow is been displayed, right? See here, a white color shadow of 10 pixels, we have given that as 10 pixels. That 10 pixels, the white color shadow RGBA 255 255 255 0.927 represents the white color shadow should be given. 0 0 0 10 pixels we will represents the where and how much the shadow should be given. Okay, so padding 20 pixel, we save this, right? Next, the borders are very sharp, I think, but the borders are very sharp, right? So what we I will do is, I will do border radius. So border radius is 15 pixel, semicolon, and I will see the borders are quite circular here, right? Quite smooth and circular here. So this is the box I required, and I will move downwards. Okay, 440 pixels. You can also change according to your laptops. Okay, my laptop is a 14-inch laptop, but your laptop can be a higher one, right? So sorry, this is the left. I need to change the top. So your laptop can be a 15 inches laptop or 16 or 17 inches. So make changes accordingly. Make changes in the margin top and margin left accordingly to your laptop. Okay, so I am done here, and there is a another filter called back, I mean, another property called backdrop dash filter, backdash depth filter. And the and for these properties the value is blur method. In blur method, how much pixels it should be blurred, I will give you 5 pixels. That means uh, see the changes you will be you will only see here, the from the background image, the this rest until the end of this box, inside this box the pixels will be blurred. Okay, this is the property which we have used to make this happen. Then the property name is backdrop filter. For our box, for our container, until it borders, the background will be blurred. Okay, backdrop filter blur is the method which we have given to it. Next, I will just give the style for h2 tag. See, this is the tag which you are using through tag only, not the name, not the class name. I am using the direct tag. So since we are using the direct tag, there is no need to keep the dot in front of the name here. So no need to keep the dot here. But for container, this is not a tag. This is the class name which we have given to a tag. So we have to make sure that dot is kept before the name. But for h2 there is no need. And for h2, what the css property I want to do is, I want to make that h2, I mean the text sign in text is there in the h2 tag, sign in text. Okay, so I want to make that align at the center. For in the container, that means the in the container box, I want to make the text to be aligned in the center. Text align center. Now let's see how the sign in is. See, sign in is aligned to the center. Okay, for sign in CSS is, I mean, the sign in text CSS is done. Next, now I want to go for divs. Okay, so the div I want to move on, give the CSS is form group. Form group is the class name which is given to the div. So, so the how the div is, I mean how the CSS is written for this. Remember that we are going to write the CSS for a class name, right? So the syntax is, I think you have remembered, that is we have to use the dot and we have to write the class name, right? Form dash group and braces open, curly braces close. Between the curly braces you have to write the CSS. Now what the CSS should be, right? The CSS which we have to write is margin bottom, margin bottom 20 pixels. Okay, inside the container, for every element which are having this tag, that means for the two divs are having this class name only. For that these two divs, for these two divs, this margin bottom is applied. 20 pixel of margin bottom is applied. See, so the for first div, that is username and input field, and bottom 20 pixel is applied. And the second div, password and password text field, the 20 pixel is applied. Okay, so this is how the next we have to write the CSS for label tags, right? So label is the tag we are using, right? So since the label is the tag itself, we can directly use the name. No need to write the dot in front of that name, right? So what the label tag, it should get margin bottom of 15 pixel, right? So for label tag I have given that margin bottom a 15 pixel. Before checking the output, let's write the CSS for input tag also. So input tag, since the tag name is I am using the tag name, there is no need to write the dot in front of the name. So what the width should be, how much width should that input tag should have? I am giving that as 100% width. Out of the width it can have 100%, and it should have a padding, and the padding it gonna have is 15 pixel, and for the border I am using 007 pff. Okay, so this is the border color I am using, and border radius border radius I want to give is 8 pixel. Next, what the text color property defines the only the color of the text only. Okay, not the remaining. It doesn't affect remaining. The text is given in that element. For that element, if the text is given, the color element defines the text for that text only in that whole element. For nothing else, the color will be given. For remaining, the color should be given separately. Okay, for only the text, the property we have to use is color. So background is transparent and border color. Okay, so this is how the color should be given to the elements. For border, it should be border color. For only text, we have to use the text property, and the color is white, obviously. Next, border color and box shadow. So box shadow is nothing but the shadow which will be reflected at the ends of the box. Okay, at the ends of the box shadow will be reflected. And how it is 0 space 10 for 10 pixels display box shadow, and that color is white color. So six F's. Okay, done. We are done here. We are done with the CSS. Let's see the changes in our web page. See how see the changes here. How it is done. The username label is being moved to here, and after that, the text feed has been came. Further, padding is also taken. Since the padding is given 15 pixels, these are having this much length. Okay, and same goes with the password too. Password and it for password text field. Okay. Mm, margin top 140. Now it looks good, right? Next what we have to do? Next we have to go to styling for the button, right? So button is the tag, so we are no need to go with the dot here. Next, how the button for how the styling should be done for the button. Okay, let me write the styling. The button width, how much width the button should have. uh, Width it should have is 50%. Sorry, it should have is 50%, and then padding it should have 10 pixels, and margin left 25%. Okay, next, what's the color for the text? So color property, and in that color property we will use F, sorry, semicolon, F, and background color. What's the background color for this? hashtag 007BFF. This is the background color which I wanted to, and borders. So border for button is none. Next, borders for button is none, and border radius. Border radius 20 pixel. And next, cursor. Cursor pointer. Cursor is pointer, and font size. Font size is large, and font size, that means the text which we are there in the button, for that we are using font size and font weight. Font size and font weight is taken for the text which will be displayed in the button. So what is the text which will be displayed? That is the login. Login is the text which will be displayed. So font size and font weight I am taking here. So you can also take the font size in pixels also. For example, 20 pixel, 30 pixel, 50 pixel. You can take that in size also, for or large, medium, larger. So these are the different types you can also take. Okay, in for size, and for weight you can use bolder, or you can use bold, or you can use medium, or you can use 100, 200, 300, 600. So these are the bold font weight values. There is no need of pixels for font weight, but for font size we have to give in pixels. See, the login is button is changed like this. So obviously I think we are done with the sign in page, right? I think we are done with sign in page. See the interface, we are done here. See, the password type equals to password is given in HTML for this password. That's why we are getting the dots instead of the visibility. An eye symbol also being shown here. If the click on the eye gives you the respective functionality. And for the box, see, box shadow is also given for input fields. See, 10 pixels of white box shadow is given for input box, and at the same time for this input box also 10 pixels white shadow is given, right? So this is the page. This is the sign in page which we have created. Now what we have to do is we have to create a link. We have to create a link that makes us to go to the register page. That means the login page, register page. There are two pages which we have to do here, right? So we have to make the register page also. Now what we have to do? Now we have to use the tag named p tag. P represents the paragraph tag. So p tag is opened here and p tag is closed, right? So in p tag any text can be written. Let me write the text. Don't have an account. Don't have an account. Don't have an account. Next, don't have an account. Then what we have to do? We have to give a register page link. Don't have an account. After that, there is a text will be displayed. Some text. By clicking on that text, they will be redirected to the register page. In that they will can register, and again once they are registered, after the completion of registration they have to log in, coming to this website. So this is the general functionality of the login and registration pages in any kind of websites which we can see in the internet, right? Once we have registered, then we come back to the login page, and with the username and password which we have registered, we will use the same username and password, and we will go, we will log in, right? So this is the general website logic which we do in the internet. Now, uh, for that, what we have to do is there is a tag called a tag. For that, in that a tag, you have to give the hyperreference. Hyperreference, href. So hyperreference should be, for initial I am taking as hashtag. So hashtag represents that there is no hyperreference for now, but there can be hyperreference in future, but now there is no hyperreference, but they can be in future. Mm. So register is the inside the tag which should be displayed in the page. So in p tag, don't have an account is the text I have displayed, and along with that I have used a tag. A tag is the hyperreference tag. So hyperreference initially present, for now I have not taken any reference. What is the reference, how do you do that, I will explain you. I will explain you now only, don't worry. For now I have not taken any reference here, so that I have replaced this with hashtag, and the text which should be displayed is register. Okay, now see how the page will be shown, how this will be shown. See here, don't have an account, register. See, it is not moving from any side, because the reason is we have not given anything. That means we have not specified any address to go. So before that, we will style this. So how we can style this? We use the p. So p tag name is p. So we can, in the style property, we can use the p as the for element p we are writing the style. So we can directly use the name as p. Right. Next, text align. Text align. Text align is center, right? It is the same that we used for h2 tag, text align center. Same we are using, because the text should be aligned center, and text decoration should be none. Text decoration should be none. Let's see what will happen. See, text has been moved to the center, right? But register button decoration, what that does is text decoration, the underline which we can see in the register, it will be removed. Okay, so what we have to do, it is not working here, so we can just make the a tag. So we can write the a tag, and for the a tag we will write the css. Okay, so text decoration none. Text decoration none. And color should be what the color we get. For example, we will blue. Okay, cyan is the color I want to choose. Okay, so let's see what will happen here. See, okay, don't have an account, the underline is gone and the color has been changed to cyan. Once the mouse is being into onto this register button, you can able to see that cursor is being changed. Okay, the cursor is being changed to pointer cursor, and for the same thing goes for the login button too. So for the buttons, the cursor will be changed like this. And for the normal text, there is no change in the cursor. And for the input, this is the input cursor. And for the normal, it will be the normal mouse cursor. Okay. Now, now what I want to do. Now what I want to do is, I want to link, right? So what I will do is, I will just copy this whole code. You don't know, you are thinking that why I'm copying this code. No, let me tell you, you will understand once I am done. We are using this in web page, right? So we will create another document here. So I will save this name reg.html, and don't forget that you have to save this as all files. So save and minimize this and delete this text document. You have no need of this. Okay, you have only need of this reg.html file. Okay, and open this with text notepad. Hmm? And now copy this. Okay, you have used the same code, you have just copied it here. Now now what we have to do, not what we have to do is we have to make the changes. So instead of sign in page, we have to convert this as sign up, and username, password, username. Next, what I will do is I will take this div, control C, and I will create another div here. Okay, so another div I have created here. For that div I will name it as email, and type equals to text, and for another div I will give it as control C, control V, phone phone number, and type equals to, for this is number, right? So I will say this, and for this not register, for this it will be like login, and herf equals to index dot html, right? So index.html hyperlink I have given for registration page. I have given the hyperlink, and I have to also rewrite this. Write this as register. Okay. Already having an account, login, register. So email address, username, phone number, password is the fields which I have given for register page. Remaining all things are same. Login page, for I have to change this registration page, right? So registration page is done. For index, sorry, let me open the index page also. I mean I have to change, I have to give the hyperlink, right? So I have to give the hyperlink for registration page. See, reg dot html, right? I have to do some changes in reg. Oh, I closed it. So I will open this. What are you might have thinking that what are the changes I have to do. This is nothing but I have to modify this top, that's all. Okay, so I will give 110 for reg. So that's cause the reason is the container is somewhat height for the container is high for the rich, cause the input fields are totally 4, but for index the input fields are only 2. So okay, this is the page we have created, that is a login page. Okay, uh, login page, right? We have created in the, we have given this in the title, and this is the page we have created, and don't have an account, register. Okay. mm, what I have done here, let us see what I have done the mistake in the reg page. Reg, okay. Okay, here is the reg, and mm-hmm. Okay, what I have to do is I have to remove this form tag from here, and I have to give that form tag after the p tag. Let's see the changes. Okay, no changes here. Let's check what we have opened and what we have closed. Okay, we have opened this div here, and we have closed this div here. Next, what the tag we have opened. Next, we have given an h2 tag, done. Okay, next, form tag which we have opened here, and the form tag is closed before the div tag, right? That should be the same. Next, div tag here, and div tag is closed here, and your div tag is started here, and your div tag is closed here. Okay, so here is the, it is not having a div tag. So I will just copy the div tag from the username div. So okay, control Z, control C, right? And I will paste it here. Okay, for this it is having a div tag, and for this it is having a div tag, and there comes the button and all. Let's see what the, either any changes or not. Yeah, the requirement is done, all the changes has been made, all the things has correct, right? So still we have to move top, we have to decrease the margin top, right? So I will make it as 50 pixel. Let's see what we have done. Okay, margin top, yes, it good, it seems to be good, good now, right? So still I want to give 550 as the width. Since we have decreased the 550, increase the width, we have to decrease the margin left here, cause the changes will be happening. Okay, so 350 is 350 is good, right? 350 seems to be good. Okay, so we are done with our sign in and sign up pages, right? So this is for today. Thank you for watching. uh, Please subscribe our Instagram channel, Coding Missions, and please share this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for being a part of the coding family. Thank you for your support.